easily put yourself on the smiling track. But it's the same thing in the evening. 100 thoughts are going on. What has happened today? How can I smile? But now you know how to smile, why to smile. So start the day with a positive energy. These were the affirmations which were beautifully designed, simple, but they are so powerful to make your day correct. Okay, today the topic is personal. And we are going to listen to Dr. Clare Mann. Dr. Clare Mann, there's a short story behind her and me meeting. 3 years ago, I had no idea of a person called Clare Mann, who's a vegan psychologist living in Australia. But we had a cafe in Kolkata then, and one day a guest comes. His name is Jason. He's an Australian, and he was eating the food there, and I was passing my cafe, and then I said hello to him because he was enjoying his. And he said hello, and then hello became next 1 hour conversation. That hello became 1 hour of conversation where I started telling him all about Ubuntu community, what we do, and then immediately, whenever in the middle of the conversation, he asked me, Dr. Clare Mann? I said, oh, who is she? Oh, you must know about her. She is an amazing person, psychologist, written multiple books on the topics which you are working on. I said, interesting. I will maybe search about her. And many times in a conversation, these books or people come, and then that time we say, yeah, but later on we move on, and we hardly get time to actually go through that book or look out for that person. But what happened here? Jason left, and from Australia, he sent me the book which she has written called Vystopia. So she has coined a term called Vystopia. And when the book arrived, and when I opened the book cover, there was something on that book cover which made me stop all the other things I was doing that moment and start reading the book then and there. And I think in a week time, I finished the book, and it changed the way I look at the world in such a profound way that then I immediately wrote an email to Clare Mann thanking her and also requesting if we could meet. She said yes. So then I met her, and then she became a purpose guide in Ubuntuverse. She is a trainer in our another academy called Veganus Academy, and she also agreed to talk on this Happy Summit last year. This year, she is traveling. She is in Australia, and the time zone is very different. She is traveling, so she couldn't be here, but she told, play my recording. Those are the words I want to tell to everybody. And if there is anything they want to reach out, share my details. You can reach out to her. So in next screen, I'm going to play the recording of what she has said, which is relevant at any given point of time. That doesn't matter it was last year or this year. Learn what you can learn from that. She's an Australian, so her accent may not be easy for you to understand. But the good thing is there will be subtitles, so you can make sense if you are listening, if you are giving attention to the whole talk. And then we'll discuss what she has taught us. Okay. So here we go. Let me play the recording now. Be present. Listen.
Hey, so it's lovely to see you all here. Biggest challenge I often have is preparing too much, because we all get so excited about this. And it's lovely that you've put that up, Abhinav. You are coming. Thank you for committing to be here. We have over 60 people. The fact that you turned up here early this morning and you're doing this with everyone else shows that actually you are the change makers. When we take action, that's when things come into play, and we commit to being the best we can be. We feel calm, we feel empowered. It's a peaceful activity. So we're going to elect to do this on ourselves. We're energetic. Exactly. These are the simple things we can do every day. And I didn't do my meditation this morning. I knew I was going to do it here. I walked my dogs, my rescue dogs, up a great big hill. And I've also done my yoga this morning, and I have had breakfast and preparing for this. So we're on the stage of looking at the personal, all these different elements. They're actually only one element really of this integrated whole, but the personal is really important. It's about our relationship with ourselves. It's a myth that we're separate, but it's a myth that we're not. We are interconnected, but we are embodied consciousness. We're having experience on this earth, whatever our beliefs about what that's all about. But it's all about our relationship with ourselves. We are the vehicle through which we are going to bring our gifts to the world. And we have to challenge that, though, to some extent, because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. And so when we put tools and techniques into place that challenge us, that our perception, our self-talk, the language that's going on in the mind, becoming aware of the unconscious influences, our memories, our experiences, our habits that allow us to see only in a certain way, we can start to become a detective of ourselves, to be the best we can be, to be open-minded, to be creative, to see if our self-talk is positive, negative. Do we use words like maybe, if, the world will never change? People are so difficult. The world is in chaos. Now, there are some realities we're having experienced back to us, but I know in this group how you've been working through this. The power of the mind is when we have a vegan world. What if people's struggles have an opportunity to move into choices and learnings? You know, we have a can-do attitude. It doesn't surprise me, of course, as this is where everybody on this group would be coming from. So we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. And one of the biggest things, of course, is our mindset, because that is a part of ourselves to do with our personal growth and self-concept, is our mindset. Let me tell you a quick story. A man is out walking. He's doing a very long walk on a very hot day, and he's getting exhausted. He runs out of water. And so he says to himself, oh my gosh, where can I get water? This is crazy. I'm going to get dehydrated. And he says, well, there's a house over there a few miles away. I'll pop in and just ask if they can give me some tap water. Okay. But as he goes on, he starts through his own perception and his mindset to think, you know, people don't want us to knock on their doors. They want privacy. They don't want us to interfere. They're fed up with all these dreadful people, these walkers, probably every day asking him for water. He's probably going to give me some rude words and say, never come back to my house. He said he's going to be irritated, that his Sunday afternoon is irritated. I don't think he'd want to give me water, but he's getting so thirsty. By the time he reaches the house, the guy opens the door with a huge smile and he says, you can stick your water, I don't want it. Okay. He saw the world as he was, not as it is. He had made up a story of his perception of what he thought was going to happen. And instead of being open-minded, he decided the guy was going to be rude and push him away. So that's what he got. Okay, that's a simple example you might have heard yourself before. But our mindset and our self-talk, the stream of words going through our minds, are powerful things. And we have to find a way to manage that. If we're going to move into 2025 and use this vehicle, this personal vehicle for change, understand our psychology and that of others, we can become detectives and self-reflectors. So what I suggest, our self-talk is really important. And I suggest people keep a little bit of a note, as I've been doing on my journey, is just check in with yourself regularly. You know, are there positive thoughts and feelings and reactions? Or are we alarmed by things? Do we catch something on the media and we think the world is in a terrible place? There's economic ruin, there's nuclear war, there's, you know, corruption in high places, there's poverty, there's the world will never change, people are selfish. Or do we have an attitude that says, you know, a vegan world is inevitable. I'm healthy, I'm well, I can do this. When we make mistakes, do we have a go at ourselves and be negative? You know, and this is it goes right across the board of all people, all positive psychology training, all coaching, all entrepreneurial training starts with 90% mindset is whether we can do this or we can't. A wise teacher once said, Bob Proctor, in America, a sales and business trainer said, whether you believe you can do it or not, either way, you're right. Okay, so changing our mindset is really very important. Is keeping a note, is when you start off with this, is literally keeping a little journal. And maybe every hour, just stop. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And what am I doing? It sounds so simple, but that is the most important thing to what all your endeavors, your advocacy, your influence on the world. Because the more we have a positive attitude, not naively, being really aware of the realities and our responsibilities, the more we will see the world and opportunities differently. Okay, there is a wonderful recording that goes back to the 1950s called The Strangest Secret. It won the award for the first, the gold award for the first auditory recording in the 1950s, when they didn't have video and whatever. It was done by a guy called Earl Nightingale. He was head of, I think, personal positive psychology or personal development he was a dean actually at a large university in America. Here at the beginning of the recording on YouTube. And he was actually in the Navy, and the battleship Arizona at the time in America drowned and was bombed. And he was one of the, if not the only survivor. And he said, I'm going to change my world and contribute for helping people be the best they can be. And he was once interviewed, and he was asked, you know, what's wrong with people today? And this was by the late Albert Schweitzer, who changed his musical career to actually open hospitals in Africa and do his calling. He said, what's wrong with man today? He said, and woman, no doubt. And he says, Earl Nightingale, he said, basically man doesn't think. Well, what does that mean? He said, we become what we think about all day long. Do we think of positive things? Are we hopeful? Do we say, when we have a vegan world, when my family expand their compassion and their regard for their health, they will embrace a vegan lifestyle? Or are we thinking negatively? I'm not too sure I can do that. I suggest you watch that recording. It's called The Strangest Secret. Above everything else is we will only be as successful as we believe we can be. We will only have as good relationships as we believe we can have, as much as we believe we can have. Whatever we believe, the outer is the inner. And this is our personal journey to prepare ourselves by, we can look after our health, our abundance, mindset. This is all related to this. Okay, there's absolute abundance out there in all teachings, in all creativity. I remember a friend of mine went to Thailand once, many years ago, and she went to a really poor area where they really had nothing. They had little shacks as houses that water was running in. They had to go a long way to get their water. They did all sorts of, just literally surviving. And she said, I saw these children playing in the street with 2 Coca-Cola cans with a bit of string through them, creating a little train set to play with. They had abundance. They didn't have fancy toys or lots of money, but it's how we see the world, not how it is. Now that is going to influence all of us. I believe, as Dr. Salesh Rao believes, and I know Abhinav does, there's 100% we will have a vegan world in our lifetime. That's not just to make me feel positive. Most people are going to follow, but the reality is we have pre-vegans, as we know. People care about other people deeply. They care about other animals. They care about their children. We need to expand that to all living beings. And it starts with ourselves, our personal journey through which we're going to see things. Because really how we make decisions, there are 3 different ways, I believe, because this is all going through our personal regard, is there's thoughts, there's emotion, and then there's this powerful thing called intuition. Our thoughts is our logic, our rationale, okay? And our self-talk and our mindset affects what's going to happen there. I'm going to give you a powerful tool in a moment that I created for myself many years ago, and it's become a habit, and it directs me right from the beginning of the morning. I don't even have to think about it. It's become a habit. But our thoughts, our logic is one way of doing it. It's only one way, okay? Our emotion is a powerful one. It's really what our body makes of our thoughts. So our self-talk, our mindset influence how we feel things, okay, our reactions. But it's that powerful thing called intuition that in our modern world is often seen as non-scientific, except heart math technology and research is now catching up with common sense and our being. Intuition is that sense of knowing that comes from this whole happy principle of health, abundance of a people, the person, and your calling. Okay. Our intuition is when we say there's yes and everything else is no. We're not doing it from emotion. We're doing it from a sense of, sometimes we can't explain it. It's a sense of knowing. We're tapping in to what we have chosen to forget. And we do that by looking after our health, meditating, relaxing. When our brain waves slow down, that's where intuition comes up. We get aha moments, ideas. When we're busy and we're logically trying to work it out and we've got any negative thoughts, we're training our minds to be positive, is in that process, we are limiting that capacity. Okay. So, because people react so much these days. I've been on calls just recently and talking to people. And, as I'm talking to them, they talk about the state of the world, the election in America, the wars, and they're really distressed and upset about it. And I say to them, what specifically is it that have you reacted to? And they say, well, it's obvious. Everybody can see that. Well, it's not obvious. It's often what we're fed through the media. We're not in that circumstance, and it's a fear of the future. So that's a big one, a global one. And we have a lot of hysteria going on in the world at the moment. We must not buy into that. We've got to correct our personal selves, our mindset, our self-talk, our reaction to things. So constantly ask, when you get a reaction to something, what is it specifically that is bothering me here? Because often it's our fear of the future, a collective buying into what we think will happen. I heard someone the other day, we have a new president in America. We are bracing ourselves for the awful things that will happen. Now, that person hasn't got any evidence of that happening. They've only read that information, whether it's good or bad. I mean, we can, that's not what it's about. But the person they've read it from the media, but they are before they see any evidence of things that might be negative. They're only going to see negative, and it will be exactly the same the other way. We are giving our power away if we react without stopping. It's almost like there's a stimulus and a response. We want to expand that. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? What is it about this that makes me react so strongly? And notice I'm using the word what, because when we use why, we look for reason and justification. When we use what, we ask for information. Is it possible that, we ask ourselves, maybe we have previous experiences, maybe we've got old wounds that happen. When we expand that, we stop, we reflect on our reactions, we can say, how is that serving me? How are my thoughts, my reactions, my lack of ability to ask questions and say, maybe there's something else I could learn here. We do that by bringing our health, our alignment, our abundance mindset into being. Okay, we could do a whole class on this one. So we have to work on our self-talk. It's firstly keeping a note of it, checking in regularly. Is what am I thinking, what am I feeling, and what am I doing? Or become aware. The vast majority of people, it would appear, by their observable behavior, but also when we look at research, is negative. Okay, change that, and it's changing through our words. Now, I want to give you a little technique that I use. In addition to your meditation and your relaxing and your energy, this is all powerful things that I do. Okay, there's something I want you to develop called the daily mantra. Okay, habits are memories of the body. There are certain behaviors we have that we don't even think about because they become memory of the body. Cleaning our teeth is one of them. For the vast majority of people, we were told by one or both or our parents or an older sibling, clean your teeth and go to bed. Most of us. Clean your teeth and go to bed. We did it. Clean your teeth, go to bed. Sometimes we forgot. Clean your teeth, go to bed. We don't have to put an alarm on our clocks when we get ready for bed. We go to the bathroom, we wash our face probably, maybe we shower, maybe we wash our body. But we clean our teeth usually. Is that fair to say? Most people do that? Am I the only one? No. But in other words, we don't have to remind ourselves it's memory of the body. Now, thoughts, reactions, mindset become habit in the body, and we can change it. And we try to be positive. We try to have affirmations, but then we get back to our negative one. It's because neuroscience tells us that our thoughts, feelings, actions become hardwired. It's a little circuitry between the brain activity. Our neurons fire and wire. We see an image that's negative. It sets an emotion, a different biochemical reaction in the brain. We have a thought, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And then before we know it, we are in this negativity, and it takes a while. Our hormones, our adrenaline, our cortisol. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not open to change and get alarmed by things which encourage us to act, but we are not controlled by these reactions. Now, a good way to do this is what I call the daily mantra. When we wake up in the morning, we're coming out of lowered brain states of sleep. Okay, when we fall asleep, we're moving from what's called beta waves, which if we signed it up on our not encephalogram, we would see when we're really busy and stressed, we see it very active. When we're listening now, we're more relaxed, but we're alert. It starts to slow down. During the day, when you're busy, you will have moments when your mind wanders. Hopefully, because actually, if not, we're at high stress and high cortisol all the time. We're not good at that point. We should be in beta waves and active, but our brain waves slow down, our heart does, and we go into alpha waves. Okay, and then we daydream and I better get back and do something else. Okay, but when we're sleeping or when we're actually meditating, but we don't fall asleep, and that's why we sit up, it goes down into theta. When the brain waves are really slow, that's where our intuition comes. When we wake up in the morning, we're reversing that from the slower brain waves. What do we do first thing in the morning? Think to yourself, what was the first thing I thought came into my mind this morning? It was very early, of course. Was it positive? Was it negative? Okay, think about that for a moment. Okay, I want you to think about an average day. Today we're up and we're committed to making change. It's very early. For a lot of people, I'm a bit late. I wish I had more sleep. It's good to be positive. You've been on the program. Of course, that doesn't surprise me at all. I said to myself, I'm going to spread the joy and receive. Excellent, you see, because we're change makers. Okay. Yeah. Note to myself. But there might be some days when we're a bit off our game. We didn't have enough sleep. Oh, I wish I had more sleep. Or, I've got so much to do today. A lot of people, and I'm sure it's no one in this group, but if we're even erring on it, actually young people look at their phone right away. They're pulled into the world of the negativity, right out of theta waves into, oh my gosh, at our most vulnerable. So unconsciously we're doing that. But an extra little thing is, I want you to create a daily mantra. Okay, I created mine about 15 years ago, and I'll tell you what it is, and I'll tell you the principles. As soon as I wake up, in my awareness, I don't have to think about this phrase comes into my mind. What a grand and glorious day filled with love, opportunity, and potential. Okay, and it doesn't matter what's happened. If I've had 2 hours sleep, it doesn't matter, because I am taken in there. And those words have a powerful thing on the mindset, the thoughts. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, the happy hormones come into me. I might be a little tired. I wish I had more sleep, but it comes into, how can we not do that? So, what a grand and glorious day filled with love, opportunity, and potential. Okay, you're going to have the recording of this, and Abhinav can put it in. But the principles are, you've got to create your own, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's got to be the 3 P's. P, P, P. It's got to be positive and in the present tense and personal. Okay, positive, present tense, personal. Now mine, a positive one is, what a grand and glorious day. It's positive, it's already here. And our personal is usually I am, or I am. Now I haven't got an I am, I've got a statement. So say somebody wanted to be healthy and well, and they're very sluggish and tired. This would be the opposite of what they need to do. Is, in the future, I will not feel so tired and exhausted, and I would have lost so many kilos or pounds. Or negative. In the future, negative, tired, exhausted, and I won't feel so tired. The brain here is tired in the future, and it doesn't really, future potential is, it's all in the present. Okay, so you're telling him I'm exhausted, tired, whatever. That's why we turn it around. I'm vibrant, I'm happy, and I'm healthy, and my body feels energized. That's positive, personal, present tense. So you're going to write it down. It's your one. And write it very small, because you're going, page of it. It's small. What a grand and glorious day filled with love, opportunity, potential. Write it down, put it next to your bed, and you're going to do a 30-day challenge because it takes about 30 days to create a habit. Is it 50? Is it 2? The more emotion, if we have a shock or a surprise or we find something, it can be very little, very short. And some of those habits become negative. They're fear-based. Other ones we have to work at. It's like cleaning our teeth. It became such a habit, but when we were young, we didn't do it right away. So write it next to your bed and elect to do this for 30 days. You wake up, you take the bit of paper, or you do anything else, you read it out to yourself. You try to embody that. A grand and glorious day filled with love, opportunity, potential. The next day you do it. The next day you do it. Then you forgot it on the 4th day. So you've got to start your 30 days again. The time will come when you don't have to think about what day you're on because it just happens. You don't even have to read it because you are training your mind. Wake up, mantra. Wake up, mantra. Okay? And so that's why, and I did it, and maybe it took me 30 days, is what a grand and glorious day filled with love, opportunity, and potential. Now, someone's raised their hand. Abhinav, is this best to leave questions till the end? Because we're just going to move into questions or do this a little differently.
Take it towards the end, no worries.
Towards the end, that's right. Because I'm aware of time and questions are always better and we can talk about these things. So these are micro habits. So I'm going to get you to do that. That is so powerful because whatever's happening in my world is that comes with you. And it sets the trajectory, the direction of our lives each day. We're creating our thoughts, our feelings, our reactions. We're becoming a detective of our self-talk. We're changing our mindset. You're already doing it. The fact that you're here, you're already way down the thing. But we have to be real works in progress to constantly open-minded. What else don't I know? Okay. So this is really important. Is micro habits. This little 5-minute exercise was so great. Is the things you're learning in health and abundance and people and calling. It's best to do it in small amounts. Now, what I decided a long time ago, I've been doing yoga for 46 years. I don't feel pain in my body in terms of stiffness or back movement. I'm very flexible. Often people are surprised at how flexible I am. But do I do hours of yoga and meditation? No, because I chose not to. But it's very easy when we decide to do something of a long nature. We can set ourselves up sometimes for failure. And then our negative, I must go back to it. I should, I ought. These are myths. Okay, I shall, I choose. These are empowering mindset things. So I decided 46 years ago that what's the minimum I could do, potentially more. So I decided after doing some yoga classes, I didn't want to do an hour. I didn't want to do an hour and a half every day So I chose I could do 5 minutes or more, 2 to 3 times a week or more within a week's thing. So the minimum I have to do is 5 minutes 2 times a week. Okay, 10 minutes, everyone can do that or more. So one day I go, great, I've done 15 minutes every week, every day. But it doesn't mean that when I start the next week, I've got some credit in the bank. I have to start again, 2 or more times a week. If you're 5 minutes or more, 2 to 3 times a week or more. Okay, that has kept me. But the habit of the body. I go a few days and I haven't done yoga. I'm starting to feel my back getting a little stiff. My body tells me because it's become a habit. So habits are formed anyway, but they're usually formed in reaction to what's going on outside in the world. We're pulled in different directions. We can change that and we can create our own habits that are empowering, are positive, are can do. And then we can really get into our calling. We can match that with exquisite communication skills, have compassion for others, invite people to choose to remember what they've chosen to forget. All right, so that's really important to do it. And also another thing I do is I always do, it's better in the morning as well, because I find that sort of yoga sets you up for the day and moving. I do Drew yoga, D-R-U, which means point of stillness, and it comes through the heart. You might want to check that out, D-R-U, Drew. I learned it in New Zealand when I lived there. So also what I do usually in the afternoons, I sit, and I've made it a habit. It was hard to do to start. I sit for 5 minutes doing nothing, not writing my goals, not having a daily mantra, just allowing myself to be present, check in with my body, breathe. And it can energize you. And you realize how busy the mind is. When we train the mind and the body, we're able to be aligned and we're so much more creative. Okay, and then wonderful things sort of happen. So I get to do that. And at the end of the day, I do a bit of review. How did I do today? How are my relationships? How's my health? I drink enough water? You know, have I done first things first? Have I advocated properly? Have I been kind? Do I need to mend the relationships because I said something unkind? Okay, a review. I call it the daily cleanup, the daily sort of thing, and forgive myself maybe for things that I have fallen short of. Okay, this is really sort of important. So there's so much in psychology I share with you. I've been a psychologist over 30 years, but let's not overwhelm. These simple principles are always the best. But I'm in the awareness of time. Let's go into questions. I hope I've given you something there to add to your.
Thank you so much, Clare Mann. Before I be open to questions, I just want. Okay, that was just such a perfect thing what we need to become the good boss of our life. Not some complicated theories, not very difficult processes, something so simple like creating your daily mantras and start your day with that. So now we are going to do that because this is the best time you design your day. There are a set of examples on the screen. If you are really feeling blank, you can just start with these examples written on the screen. Okay, there is no copyright. They are not made by Clare Mann or by me. They are just simple statement which kind of starts the wheel. Okay, but I think you have got enough idea from Dr. Clare Mann, so you can also design your own. Even better if it is in your own language, which really you connect to, your mother tongue. Because your language, the more layers we have with your mind and the language you put this, the more layers. Like for example, you have the German or Marathi or Tamil, but then you are trying to translate into English, and the farther the differences, the lesser the effect. You can design in your own language. Okay, whatever takes the minimum effort for your mind to say these things and translate. So next 5 minutes, take your time in a fresh page, and this page will be taken out from the paper and will be stick somewhere, because there is a paper on my wall which has all the affirmations. This is next year, whole year, you are going to commit that every morning, no matter what happened yesterday, first few minutes of the day, you will say these statements. But they are not the fixed statements. You can always improvise on them. The commitment is that I'm going to spend speaking these personal mantras, which are positive, personal, and present tense. But maybe they improvise. That's not a problem, because there's a affirmation written in my list is I am getting better and better every day. So my affirmations are also getting better and better every day. Okay. So now next 5 minutes, a fresh page, my daily mantras, my positive mantras, my morning mantras, whatever you want to give it a title, write down. And if you are done, keep saying them, keep repeating them. There's a music right now going on. I'll play the music to give you a supporting environment. And one last thing is, try to make sure that each area of health, abundance, people, personal calling, there's at least one statement. Okay, at least one in health, one in abundance, one in people, relationships, one in personal, being a good boss of my life, and one is in your calling. Okay, your calling. Try that. Okay, if you're not able to make in anything, it's okay, but try. That is, all 5 areas can be covered. Here we go. Your time starts now. Create. Slowly take a pause. You can continue if there are more coming, but tell me in the chat, counting how many daily mantras you were able to create. I'm counting. How many daily mantras you were able to create? Wow, amazing. 15, 11. People watching the recording, please share. 8, 9, 7. For me, it's 16. My page ended at 16. So because I want to put one page, so it ended at 16. Wow. They are personal mantras. Amazing. Thank you so much. There is no competition here. Okay. Though you win when you make even one daily mantra. Okay. That's the winning category. Losing category is 0 daily mantras. So you all are winner. And you can always create more. You can make it better. Now, if you have to tell one mantra in the chat, which is your favorite one, can you type that? Let's see if you can inspire anybody. Okay. I'm also going to type my mantra. One mantra all among all of that, which you think you want to type here in the chat. Let me see which one I want to try. Okay. Mm. Okay, this is my one. Mine is, I'm healing myself and through me healing the whole world. Wow. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. What a beautiful moment that all of us creating our daily mantras, our own, created by us. That's why you remember, everybody, can you repeat this with me? I am the creator of my life. I am the creator of my life. That should also go there, by the way. See, you are creating your mantras. Before this, we all were given mantras by somebody else. Some mantras which were given by our ancestors, and then somebody said, you say these mantras and you become happy. Well, maybe they work, maybe not. But the real power is that I am the creator of my mantras. You have to create your own mantras, because many a time these mantras are in very complicated language which we can't understand. Yes, there is energy and frequency added to those words, hence there is some effect. But a mantra has to be completely some, that there is zero efforts of me getting what every single word is saying. Hence, you create your mantras. Yes, I'm the creator of mantra, and you have done it today. So this is where you begin to become your personal good boss of your life. Okay, everybody, repeat this with me. I commit to start my day with my daily mantras, which are positive, in present tense, and personal, for every single day starting today. Not waiting for 1st January, starting today. Already we have done it, right? Wow. Just begin your day, no matter what happened yesterday. I'm telling you, this is where obviously it will take efforts. Why will it will be effortless in the beginning? New habits, going to gym, starting yoga, meditation, everything needs effort because they were not our habits. Simple. But if you create this habit, simplest one, because it may take not more than 2-3 minutes, depending upon how many you have in the list, and even in 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and then you see the whole day. Thank you. So once you think that I have completed my mantras, make it into a fresh page. You can be more creative. You can go to Canva. You can design a PDF, whatever works. Because anyways, we have the happy board, which we will create on Sunday. You can make your happy board and happy mantras, daily mantras on the one page, where whatever works for you. Okay. And maybe start with 30 days challenge if you think you need to have one challenge to do something. Whatever works for you. Okay. You decide your own path. 30 days challenge, 21-day challenge, or I already have committed here, so I'm going to do it. But it has to be somewhere where for some days you can read them. And then slowly, maybe after a month, it will become part of you, right? Clare Mann is doing for last 15 years. I've been doing for last maybe 2.5 years or 2 years. Thank you. Thank you. That's all about being a good boss of your life. If you have any questions on today, I would say ask in the group today. While there should be no question, because it's just as simple as it can be. Create your daily mantras, present, positive, personal, and become a good boss. But if there are some questions, do ask in the group. For now, enjoy the day, because you have done your daily mantras, you have created your daily mantras. I'll see you tomorrow with Dr. Shailesh Rao live to tell you about your calling. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. Be happy. Thank you for watching recording. I love you too.